Well, then on that note, what does diversity mean to you? We talk a lot about diversity in the industry. We have a diversity requirement at Newhouse. You came to my diversity class today. We use the word diversity often as a buzzword. But if you had to unpack it, what does the word diversity mean to you, both personally, in the industry, statistically?
I don't know, diversity. I think diversity is necessary. When I was at Sci-Fi, I was on the diversity board that had to sit in the meetings with the councils. It was the diversity council. So when all the councils would come in, the NAACP would come in, the National Hispanic Association would come in, the Asian American Pacific Islander group would come in, the Native American Council would come in, and we would get graded. Every studio goes through it. It's a process, and they're not happy with us. They're very happy actually with NBC overall compared to the others, but I think it's necessary to monitor it. It must be done, and they monitor our talent on camera. They also monitor the above the line, the directors. They also monitor the writers.
So then what, in your interpretation, what is the benefit of a checklist and what are the detriments of a checklist?
For me, that process itself is not helpful because it's subverting the issue. It really is. And they know it. I believe that they know it. It's really like, okay, let's try to get this done. Let's make it look as good as we can. I mean, nobody's lying on these checklists. I mean, everybody's really happy. Like when we did Jim Henson's Creature Shop Challenge, it was like a happy accident that one of the cast members was, she had Native American, she was half Native American. We were like, oh yay, that's great. We can check that off. We didn't see that coming. But that's just like, oh, so what? Like, we're getting somebody off our back because that's a good thing? That's not the point. That's really not the point. And I have this very wonderful casting company that I use. We and some of the people that I work with are actively going out to cast people. That's effective. I'm not looking for after the fact, check it off on a list because, you know, we have to account to someone. We are actively trying to cast so that our shows are much more representative of what society looks like, so that it feels good to watch television. Like when I watch TV, I want to see faces that look like mine. I want to be represented. So I want it, it has to be relatable. We talk about authenticity in the characters. Well, part of that is it being relatable. I can see, every group, every subgroup gets this at some point, and you go through it until you can get to the place where it becomes more of a norm and there are enough shows on with your group so that it doesn't feel stereotyped. The first Black show that comes out, there's a bunch of stereotypes, right? And you're like, well, I'm kind of happy our show's on, but I don't know, I'm cringing at the same time. And then like Shaws of Sunset comes on. I'm sure the Persian community was like, yay, there's Persian people. And, oh my God, right? So, and then there's a show with, a bunch of gay guys on the show, and then they're like, oh, but dang, really? Like every group probably goes through that. But the point is that, yeah, I think that somewhere along the line, somebody says there must be diversity initiatives because somebody has to pay attention to it. Somebody has to say, more voices, we need more voices represented. How do we monitor that? How do we make sure that somebody's paying attention to it? I don't know what the best answer is. I don't know what the best way is to get people to pay attention to it, but somebody has to speak up, right? Somebody has to be the one to speak up.
Well, on that note, and I'd really like as we go through to think about, what you would like diversity to mean, just as a note, but I would really love to get into some of the nitty-gritty of your experiences in the industry.
Well, by the way, I mean, I would like for diversity to mean that it's okay to have more than one black face on a show. Right? Because it's not, because one doesn't mean we've checked the box, or more than one black woman on the show, and they can have differing viewpoints, or, they don't have to scream at each other.